Now in the first year of the king of Cyrus of Persia, in order to fulfill the word of the Lord given through the prophet Jeremiah, the Lord stirred up the heart of Cyrus, the king of Persia. That is a portion of the first verse of chapter 1 of the book of Ezra in the Old Testament. And I love that verse because it's unclear as to whether or not Cyrus had read or even seen or heard of the prophecy that was written about him that named him by name nearly 150 years beforehand. But what was clear was that God was using Cyrus. Whether or not Cyrus was aware of it, or whether or not Cyrus really understood it or understood the magnitude of it, is unclear. You know, sometimes we become convinced that God can only move in certain ways or by using certain people, and we become convinced that God's full work will never be accomplished in our lives until we understand what it is that He's up to. I don't know about you, but I'm thankful that God doesn't require me to always fully understand what it is that He's doing. God is moving, and God is working, and God is inspiring, and God is stirring the spirits of His creation all over the planet for the purposes of His glory. And God is moving in your life regardless of whether or not you see it or even desire to see it. God is capable of moving in your life. The 19th century commentator Alexander McLaren said, "The difference between sacred and profane history is not that one is under His direct control and the other is not." In other words, all of history is under God's watchful eye. He uses who He pleases for what He pleases when He pleases. If God is involved, if God is the one doing the stirring, then it is sacred. The good news is that God doesn't need us to fully understand what He's up to. He doesn't need us to fully understand, but He does need us and require us to be fully obedient. So let's start to spend less time worrying and stressing about what we don't understand and more time being obedient. Be encouraged and keep moving forward.